Hi everyone, it's Franco here again with a few more little tips for you, and today we're going to be thinking about what we can do with dust mites. Now I know we've touched on this subject before, but it has come up in a couple of places where people are giving some misinformation, shall we say, or not updated information, so I thought we'd just go through that and run through it and give you some handy tips for you to be able to survive at home.
Well, Franco, another show and dust mites.
Dust mites, yes, that eternal problem that everybody keeps talking about.
Now, there are, and you said there's some misinformation going on. I think the first thing is people say that to get rid of the dust mites, just get rid of the carpet.
Yeah, that seems to be the first thing that crops up in a lot of conversations, and even in so-called scientific journals, there are, or sites I should say, on the internet, they are still saying that rip out the carpet and that would be the end of your problem. Whereas that is just such a minuscule part of the problem, and it really doesn't do any, or doesn't give any help to the people that are suffering at all. It might have a minimal impact depending on the conditions they've got, but there are certain things that you have to look at and understand so that you can combat these little critters.
Now, the other thing you hear also that comes around when it comes to carpet, people will say, look, floorboards or hard flooring is cleaner than carpet.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be about the same amount of dirt going in.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you look at your hard floor and people see their hard floor and they see the dirt on it. So it's like, oh, I see the dirt, I must clean it.
Yes.
Carpet, it hides it. So, oh, I don't see it, it doesn't need to be cleaned. But the same amount of dirt that's hit that hard floor is hitting the carpet, and it's still sitting there because you're not removing it. You're removing it off the hard floor, but it's still sitting in the carpet. So the carpet's designed to hide dirt. That's one of its primary functions. It makes it feel nice, it makes it look nice, and it doesn't appear to require as much maintenance. But the truth is really the complete opposite. It needs maintenance.
If you're going to clean your hard floor every day, you should really give your carpets a good vacuum.
A good vacuuming, that's right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for people who do have allergies, if they're not using a machine with a HEPA filter, they're absolutely not doing the right thing by themselves.
Now, what's that HEPA filter again?
That's the high efficiency particle arrestor. So what it's doing is it's picking up those allergen particles. They're below the 2.5 micron level. Okay, they're the ones that give you the allergy issues. And if you don't use a HEPA filtered vacuum cleaner, it picks it up off the floor, whatever flooring it might be, or the upholstery that you're doing even. Yeah. And it gets into the airstream, sucks it into the machine, and it blows it straight back out the exhaust again. So, have you cleaned? Not really, no.
No, really. No, for HEPA, just for someone who's perhaps haven't heard the show before, it is actually written on the vacuum cleaners, isn't it, normally? More
than likely should be written on the vacuum cleaner. So it'll be either say HEPA or S-class filtration.
Right.
They're sort of fairly closely related. But if you don't have anything like that on there, and it's just your standard filters, and especially people who are using cloth bags, just don't. They are just the worst, because they will just pass so much through them and they remain dusty, and every time you turn that vacuum cleaner off, I've seen some vacuum cleaners that you turn on and you watch a puff of dust coming out the back of the machine. It's like, well, that's not doing much good.
I think I used to have one of them.
You can also tell that a lot of times you start those machines up and they smell. They really smell awful.
I had one, it was one of those long barrel things with a hose coming off the end, you just dragged it around behind you. But as you look behind you, went, oh well.
It was coming off the floor. It's now just settling on the furniture after I've dusted.
Now, coming to carpet, so there is not a reason, there is no evidence, is there, to say that carpets are worse for people with allergies than hard floors?
No, in fact, there's some evidence to say that they're probably better for people with allergies. Okay, now the thing with carpets is that it actually can act as a bit of a filter. It holds that dust in to a fair degree. Now, it does depend on what sort of carpet type you have as well. The problem with hard floors is that there's dust on there. As soon as you walk through it, you get little eddies of air, and everything goes back up the air, and especially kids, they're closer to the ground. They'll start breathing that stuff in. Your carpet, on the other hand, tends to filter it a little bit and hold it in the carpet until such time as it gets vacuumed out. Now, there's also a couple of different styles of carpet. We've got our loop pole carpet, we've got our cut pole carpet.
I was going to say, because when you go to carpets, apart from all different brands, but you get all materials, but you get this loop and this cut pole. Is there a better one? Like you got the little kitties crawling on the carpet and stuff like that.
All right, but is there a better one or isn't it? It really depends on the situation and how much maintenance you're prepared to put into it. Okay, because with your loop piles, they tend to hold a lot more in them. Okay,
Right.
but by the same token, it's more difficult to pull back out of it. Your cut pile, the ones that look that velvety colour, velvety style, I should say, they're not as efficient as the loop piles holding it down, but they'll release it a lot more easily when you go to vacuum it with an upright vacuum cleaner.
An upright
not the barrel vacuum cleaner, like that thing that you had puffing dust all over the place. Yeah, HR puffing stuff.
Yeah.
But it really depends on the style that you like as well. And if you're prepared to put the maintenance into it, vacuum those carpets regularly. If you've got someone with asthma in your home, if you're only vacuuming once a week, you're not doing anyone any good at all, especially not the person with an allergy. So, 2 to 3 times a week is probably a better way to go. But have an upright vacuum cleaner, a good quality one, not just a cheap, nasty piece of junk that you can buy around the place, with a HEPA filter, and that will actually make a huge health impact on anybody who has those sorts of allergies.
Now, we are going to talk dust mites, but you just said then about the upright vacuum cleaners, and what's coming really popular, without mentioning any brands, is the cordless ones.
Yes.
They're up, they've got a little barrel sitting on top of them, and you wheel them around. I think there's a few different brands.
There are a few different brands,
yeah.
And look, they're great for spot vacuuming and doing things like that, but when you really want to get into the carpet and give it a good vacuuming, a proper upright vacuum cleaner, the full-size one, they just have more strength to get down into and drive right into the carpet pile, rather than the lighter handheld ones that just skim across the top. They work reasonably well, don't get me wrong, but they're not as good as a full-size machine.
Yeah, don't have the same amount of power.
No.
So, people with allergies, one of the things going around now and what you're coming across is this thing about dust mites.
Yes.
And they're going, well, to get rid of them, just get rid of your carpet. And that seems to me a little bit extreme.
Well, it is, and it's an expensive way to go too, because putting down hard floor and getting rid of your carpet and putting that down, it's an expensive exercise. And I have had customers in the past that did that and had a resultant health decrease of their kids that had chronic long-term asthma. So it really did them no favours at all. Now, the problem that you have is that dust mites are not necessarily residing in your carpet. Okay, for a dust mite to survive, number one, it needs darkness.
Yeah.
So already we've got carpet that's exposed to light.
Yes.
It doesn't like having. They don't like having airflow. The carpet's exposed to more airflow than anything else in your house, obviously, because there's air constantly flowing across it. It needs humidity. Okay, and dust mites eat skin scale, kind of.
Right.
They need that skin scale to be broken down by some particular types of mold and fungi before they can actually go in and do their business with it. Okay. So without those molds, they don't grow. They just can't flourish. The molds are the ones that need the darkness, they need the lack of airflow, and they need that humidity. Without that fungus, the dust mite cannot digest the keratins that are in your the skin scale. So it's just a moot point. The only way you're going to really get those sorts of those places happening is in your bedding, or in your upholstery where you're spending a lot of time sitting. We all exude a bit of moisture out of our bodies. That's just what happens. We all sweat to a certain degree. And that's where you can get that warmth, especially in a bed. They can need that little bit of warmth. They need that dampness. They need that darkness under the covers. It's a perfect breeding ground for them. Okay, so pillows, blankets, mattresses, all of that, or even your favourite armchair, if you're spending a lot of time there, that's where they're really going to flourish. In the carpet, they'll be there, but in very minimal levels.
It'll be hard. It'll be more like in the carpets if you're someone who likes to have your curtains shut all day, or maybe in a wardrobe. Maybe you've got the carpet in the wardrobe and you're keeping the doors, but then there's not much skin scaling there.
No, well, there'll be a little bit because you're going in and getting your
Yeah.
clothes and things like that. But that's not where the real issue is going to be. It's going to
No.
be where the higher traffic areas are.
Mm.
But the thing is though that everybody has this tendency to draw the curtains.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are placing that into darkness.
Mm.
Okay, now we'd had a large trend here in WA at least towards evaporative air conditioning. So what that's doing is essentially it's raising humidity in your house.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it just works on airflow over water.
That's right. Yeah,
To cool
exactly.
the house.
So the airflow is going through the water. It picks
Yeah.
up that humidity and it makes it feel cool. It's not really dropping the temperature that much, but it does make it feel cool in the home because you basically got moisture on you.
Yeah.
So you combine that with someone who shuts all their windows and then shuts all the curtains, and then you are going to have a greater propensity for it. And by the time you get someone who does that and then doesn't vacuum their carpets, you're going to create an issue for yourself.
So the other kind of air conditioners we've got here is the refrigerated model.
Correct. So these days the trend has gone to those sorts of machines, especially the inverter type air conditioners, because they cost less money to run and they get really nice cold air. And guess what? That cold air is dehumidified. Brilliant.
No moisture.
No moisture, or it's
very
decreasing the amount of moisture. For your dust mites to survive, they need around about a 54% relative humidity in the atmosphere. Okay, with your evaporative air cons, you're going to be going well above that. Okay, but with your refrigerated ones, you would drop it well below the 50, 40s, and even down to the 30s sometimes, and keep that temperature around 22 degrees. The dust mite's just going to go, can't have that. Okay, a little point that I brought up with you before is dust mites themselves are 75%
I was
water.
going to say this because I was actually quite surprised. The
Yeah.
little critters are 75% water.
So you put them into a 22 relative humidity, they're just going to go dry out and they're going to die.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just can't survive in that sort of atmosphere. Once again, they'd have to go retreat back to your bedding and into your upholstery, and that's where they will flourish. But out on the carpet, it's going to be really difficult for them to survive, especially if you throw open your blinds, expose it to light, drop that temperature, drop that humidity. They just can't exist in that sort of environment.
It's funny because you were saying how they're built because they're exoskeleton, the skeleton's on the outside. So basically, they're just inside of them.
Yeah,
There's not much
they're
else.
just mush. Mush and slush. Well, something like that anyway. But yeah, I mean, the fact is that that they need the moisture to survive, and they just will not survive without it.
So we're now realising that the carpets are actually quite beneficial. They do trap dust and stop it from flying. As long as you get a good upright vacuum cleaner to clean it.
Yeah.
And the dust mites keep the curtains open. It's interesting you say that because we've talked on one of the other shows and you were saying about stripping the bedding on the mattresses and every now and then drag your mattress outside and put it in the sun.
Put it in the sun. They just do not like that. They will actually completely die off if you can do that. Even with soft toys, for instance, you've got kids that love their soft toys.
Yes.
So they're always holding them and dribbling on them and doing whatever they can to them. So even with those things there, shock of a temperature, like either throwing them into a freezer or throwing them outside into the sun, and all of a sudden those dust mites would just go, oh, we don't like this, and then they're gone.
Now, someone listening may just say, well, is this just all an opinion, Franco?
No. This is actually factual research that's been proven time and time again. Actually, just before coming here, I was doing a bit of other research on it, and I've just stumbled across a website, and I'll give them a free plug, housedustmites.com. And it gives anything from just minor bits and pieces of general information right through to the scientific data, okay, and investigations and reporting. So it covers it the whole raft, if you like, of all the different things that you can do to prevent dust mites and understand them a little bit better.
Right.
So this is not just stuff that I'm saying, this is stuff that is actually backed up.
Because there are people that are out there that would say, and not mean to be arguing, they'll say, well, you're saying this, but some of from AMA, which is our Australian Medical Association, go, get rid of carpets. They're a problem for people with allergies. And there's like these conflicting stories now happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everybody always keeps up with all the information that's going around the place. And I mean, the whole dust mite scare came from a bit of a scam in the first place, unfortunately.
Right.
I think I've mentioned that before. There was actually research, inverted commas, done by a Hartlaw company in Sweden. and it was taken as a gospel, and no one ever really checked up on it until the last, well, it was 20-something odd years ago, and it's only been the last decade that research has been done to go, well, maybe that's not quite the case. But a lot of people haven't caught up, and so they're still spouting the old knowledge, if you want to put it that way.
Done by a hard flooring company.
Yeah.
That said carpets were bad.
They might have had a vested interest.
No.
So anyway, I mean, that's where it stemmed from.
Yes.
So yes, dust mites are a problem. People do have allergies to them, but you've got to really look at where you're going to go and combat them. I mean, regular maintenance, you're using your HEPA filtered vacuum cleaner, and that's not just the carpet, that's on the upholstery as well, and your mattresses and the whole box and dice.
Right.
And a regular cleaning. Now, dust mites might be made at 75% water, but you put them in water, they drown.
There you go.
So, put them through a nice good wash, whether you come across with your carpet cleaning hot water extractor.
Yeah.
I also have a product which is really fantastic as a cleaner, but it has no odour. People don't like it because it has no odour. Which is really quite bizarre. You can't smell it. If you can't smell it, it's not clean.
Yes.
But this stuff is really designed for people with allergies. And not only does it drown the little buggers, because people can also be sensitive to that exoskeleton, it also is really good at dissolving the exoskeleton, so you can remove it from the carpet. So if you have a really decent carpet cleaning done with these types of products, I tell you what, your carpets will be absolutely schmick. Your mattresses, your upholstery, the whole lot, we can do it with that sort of stuff, and we can get rid of that dust mite to make it a more comfortable environment for anybody with allergies.
So someone with allergies is just listen to that then, and quite often we find that some of this stuff that is absolutely great costs us a fortune.
Yep.
Does it cost?
No.
Oh,
No.
there we go.
And that's the thing, people are really worried about the cost.
Yes.
And really, what cost is your health? Now, the stuff that we can use, it costs a little bit more than your normal cleaning agents that we might use, but for the amount that we have to use, it's not a huge increase in cost. So, it's not really reflected that much in the cost. It might be a slightly, like a 20% higher cost involved to us.
Yeah.
But that's, as an overall scheme of things, if you're only getting your carpet cleaned once a year, which is what you really should be doing.
Yes.
Okay.
And
you've got someone with allergies, is that extra 20% cost worth it?
Yeah.
I kind of think it might be.
It's not like it's double or triple or anything like
No.
that.
It's not a complete, not a rort. No. And this stuff is well, to people who know where to get it from, it's actually quite easily available.
Yeah. And the reason I just brought that up is quite often people say, well, it's a specialised product now, and so often you go, it's specialised, so we'll double, we'll triple, we'll quadruple the price, and that just...
And there might be some people that will say that, yes.
Yeah, but
I prefer to be a little bit more honest and upfront. If it doesn't cost me that much more, why should I be doing that, increasing the cost to you? We just want to make sure, I mean, look, we vacuum everything with a HEPA filter before we start anyway.
Yes.
So that's the first stage of any job. And then after that, then we look at the formulations that we might need. To be able to get the job done right.
So with people with allergies, we've covered the old dust mites. We seem to be able to knock them on the head pretty quickly and create environments where they just don't live anyway.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that carpets bring to the table for people with allergies that are maybe detrimental, or you may say, well, you better be doing this with it?
The other thing that can happen sometimes, it's not always necessarily just a dust mite.
Yeah.
It can be the actual fibres themselves that can create an issue.
Yes.
So for anybody with a respiratory issue, if you get those fibres breathed in, they can irritate, and then you'll start coughing and start wheezing and doing all sorts of
Is this
nasty
like
things.
the wool fibres, because they're a natural fibre?
Okay, so wool fibres, they're called staple fibres, so they're just short section of fibres that have been spun together and they're held in by friction. But over time, some of those bonds start to break down, or the fibres themselves might start to break down, so you always get a dust coming off the carpet.
Right.
Okay, and it's a wool dust that people refer to.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing can also be detrimental. Your synthetic fibres, on the other hand, they're normally a continuous filament. No, I also said normally.
Normally.
Yeah. Sometimes they're cut into staple fibres to emulate wool, or if they're going to be blended with wool. So they can still have that same issue. It's just that it's those small fibres, small bits and pieces that you breathe in that you want to avoid. So if you're going to have a synthetic carpet because of allergies, get a synthetic carpet that you know is not a staple fibre. The manufacturers will tell you if it is or not,
Yep.
but make sure that's not a staple fibre, and you should have a good livable carpet.
Oh, fantastic. So now I spoke to Jacqueline Campbell, who does mould mediation and things like that, and she's a big advocate for carpets when you've got allergies, because she's a big believer that they actually trap the dust.
That's right.
And then you vacuum it out. Is this really what you're saying as well? Is this
It's the same sort of thing.
evidence
I mean, when it comes to just dust and things like that, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Vacuuming was going to remove the bulk of it, and it's something you need to do as a regular maintenance. Now, the thing is, we're saying at 12 months, you've got to start thinking about cleaning your carpets, because it's not just the dust we need to worry about.
Right.
Okay, there's oils that bond onto the fibre. So when you get those sort of grey, grungy-looking traffic areas, they're environmental oils. They're naturally out there, either through pollution or, I mean, where do you think we get vegetable oils from? Plants.
Plants.
You start walking over lawns or through garden beds and what have you, they'll get transferred, and plus you're cooking, you're throwing oils up in the air, and they've got to land somewhere.
I was going to say, a lot of cooking oils, you don't actually realise how far it's actually dispersing through the home.
No. Well, I know in my places, I was silly enough to buy a glass top dining table.
Yes.
And
you can see it.
every time I cook, it's clean it down again. It's not because I'm a bad cook.
Delicious food happening.
Just lick it off the table.
Oh, dear.
So, but I mean, it's got to land somewhere. So, as I said, it's going to land on your furniture, any horizontal surface, which obviously includes your flooring as well.
Yeah, wow. So people who want to know more about this, do you have some information on your website, or can they call you?
We don't have a great deal of information as far as dust mites themselves go on our website. We've got a little bit of information there, but certainly they can give us a call, and we can find out what their issue is. A lot of times people with allergies have got multiple allergies too. It's not just the one thing. So we need to look at the whole picture to see what product is going to be best for them and what methodology is going to be best for them.
Yeah.
Okay, because no two people are the same.
No.
You know, sometimes it's a chemical allergy, sometimes it's a respiratory thing, sometimes it's a dust mite allergy, it's a pollen. Which one have you got? Okay, just to say, I need a clean for allergies, we need to narrow down the scope of what you have to be able to come up with a perfect plan. So the best thing is give us a call, okay, and we can then go from there and get the right program for you.
Now, one other thing I would say, and just to make a point, because we just mentioned about the hardwood flooring company doing a research and going, oh, carpets are bad. And somebody would have said, well, hold on, you're a carpet cleaner now saying hardwood, but you actually do hard flooring. You do the tiles, you do the timber floorings. So
we don't actually do timber floors. That's done specially.
Oh, that's another
but, I mean, we do tile cleaning as well.
Yes.
So and you do. As far as that, it doesn't really matter to me whether you've got carpets or tiles. I can clean them both.
Yes.
But if you've actually got someone with allergies, you've got to start understanding the real reasons why they're happening. Because just replacing your carpets is not going to fix the issue.
Interesting. Now, you said about cleaning. Do you put any product on after the carpet to help maintain them afterwards, or
as far as dust mites go?
No.
I mean, we can do protectors for it, but that's against soiling and staining. Not for the dust mite themselves. No.
Now, there's a difference between dust mite and what were those things that you got covered in that time when you walked in and had to get the pest control company in?
Oh, fleas.
Fleas. Oh. Now, there is a difference, isn't there?
Slight, Dust mites don't bite. So the dust mites is the actual the feces.
Yes.
Okay, they have a certain protein in there that people react to. Okay, some of them react to the exoskeleton as well, all the remains thereof when they die, because they've only, I think the males have about a 10-day lifespan. The females up to 70.
Right.
So they churn over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fleas, they're a completely different kettle of fish. Completely. Yeah.
So, fleas, just to wrap this show up, because I think there are a few people would go, well, what do I do with fleas? Should I then get hardwood flooring because of fleas? What would you be saying?
Well, fleas, they're going to obviously populate a carpet a lot more than they would a hard floor, because they need somewhere to lay their eggs, and the hard floor is not going to give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you still want carpeting, you can still control fleas quite happily.
Right.
Cleaning will get rid of them. Once again, we'll drown the blighters. But then after that, what you want to do is have a pest control company come in and treat the area.
Right.
Because whilst we can nail the fleas, the live ones, if there are any eggs in there, the eggs will survive cleaning. It's just nothing. It's like people with head lice. Same sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
Those things just bond to the fibre. There's no way in hell that you're going to get the damn things off again. So we do a post-treatment with a flea treatment with a pest controller, a licensed pest controller. Do not do the sort of stuff that some people do on their own.
Yeah.
No. And if you've got a carpet cleaner who claims they can do it, make sure he's got a pest control licence, because most don't.
Right.
Okay, they just claim they can, and they get the old bag on out and start spraying it. They've got no idea what they're doing.
No, it's a bit of a specialised thing with the chemicals.
Yeah, you're dealing with a poison, and so you need to know what class of poisons you can be using safely in a home. But the idea is that then later on, if those eggs hatch, there's some residual in the carpet that will knock those fleas off.
Now, this is why you clean the carpets before the pest control,
Correct.
not the other way around.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, as I said, the cleaning's going to get rid of the bulk of the fleas anyway.
Yes.
Then after that, it's just the control for the future possible re-infestation.
Right, okay. So they're fairly easy to get rid, because you went into one that was, well, you came out and you were hopping, or things were hopping.
Things were hopping.
Your shirt was moving, I remember.
Yeah. Well, that was when I had a white shirt. And I actually I was in a shop just after visiting that place, and I just felt that itch and thinking it was just a psychological reaction to what had happened. All these cockroaches falling on me and all these fleas jumping about. But then I had that dark pants with the white shirt, and I looked down at my shirt and I saw these moving black dots. And I was like, that's why I'm itching. And my van was hopping with them.
Wow.
It was absolutely. I had to bomb my van, which is ridiculous.
So we can get rid of the fleas fairly easily as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, Franco, the best way to contact you, someone's now got allergies and they're going, look, let's just do this properly. Let's live a happier life.
A more comfortable one,
A more comfortable one. What's the best way of contacting yourself?
Okay, so we've got a landline, which is 9493 3880. Or you can go to our website itself, www.facc.com.au. Hit us up on the Fresh Air Carpet Cleaning Facebook page. We've also got a little bit of information in there, and you can contact us through that one as well. And failing that, just send us an email, info@facc.com.au.
And if you've got the carpet cleaners coming around, make sure they are a member of the Carpet Cleaning Association.
Very good point, because the Carpet Cleaning Association, we do keep up with these sorts of things. We have regular workshops. Any information like this that does come up, we share, so that everybody's on the same page when it comes to that, and we can hopefully deal with it a little bit more efficiently than the average person can.
What's the website for the Carpet Cleaning Association?
www.ccwa.com.au.
A fantastic resource. Franco, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.